Well, hello, as we're sitting here late afternoon on Wednesday, late afternoon of what's the, yeah, of course, August 9th, year 2023, here with the Hello Hello Show. And my name is Haim Mizrahi, continuing with the tradition of public access and the tradition of the Hello Hello Show that's been on the air since 1980. And of course, not to fail to mention the contribution by Frigid Dougherty, Francis Ann, and the likes of you out there. Make it your business knowingly and unknowingly, directly and indirectly, by literally expanding and fortifying and enhancing the concept of public access that in itself already an enhanced concept and impressive and powerful and much contributing. Of course, it's all about what, when we really take it to the level that we need to take it personally, then it materializes in a way where you can see early sparks and they give you an indication that you might be on something. You're not quite sure what, but you might be up on something now, the lingering undercurrent, uh, early breakthrough, you know, post metallic conservatism that takes you maybe as far as the early stages of natural desire, and then you act upon it, and then things are being materialized. It's amazing how when we grow, entering into the early stages of teenagehood, there's so much power embedded in that age. I don't think parents are aware of the fact that the kids at age 11, 12, 12, 13, 13, 14, 14, 15, 15, 16, a major formation of power. So there's a way through art, or at least the one that is known to me because I hands-on kind of went through it myself. Just the connect to the levels that your kids are, as I said, between the ages of 12 and 16, experiencing and indirectly portraying what the future is going to be like. How is it going to be like? What is it that their contribution would be? Not only knowing that they will have, they themselves knowing about themselves, that they will have something to say, something to contribute and to, um, you know, execute. Um, but more like a level of conviction that is just allowing you to be able to connect to this naturalism and without disturbing it, being able to kind of observe it and examine it, so to speak, because after all, we're going to be spending a long time, a long part of our lives, if you're embedded into that process of cherishing and yielding and seeking art and the action of art and the actual application of art and the philosophy of art and the reality of art and the accents of art and the syncopated art and the cementitized art and also the one that freezes and instantly becomes some kind of a weird beginning that slowly but surely connects with that which is familiar inside us if we were to be individuals that actually make it their business to spend enough time creating art. It's like the process itself will already uh, recognize us, identify us, and say, "Yeah, of course, we're going to let you through." Um, so, I'm talking about this age where we as parents can discover that not only that our kids have what it takes when it comes to power on many levels, on many degrees, like um, literally by way of connecting with reality or with nature in a very normal, straightforward, regular way. They they can they can have it completely available. So when you're in front of the canvas, you really want to bond with the surface. You really want to create something that you can like, that makes you feel happy. and just trying to find out what it really takes to get something out of something that needs so much. So what is it that one needs to give in order to get exactly what they want? So many trials and errors, and so much guessing, and uh, but no matter what it is, there's always goodwill lingering. And our society really is depending on the level of goodwill of nature, the goodwill of the nature of people that are good, that can be bad or turn bad. But it's like it feels like they can really be spared. As we're speaking of the 12-year-old to 16-year-old, be spared from so much. I don't know, wasted attention, uh, time wasted, time wasted can ruin talents. Yeah. So, and then suddenly you get to think about a possibility that you might be able to just wake up tomorrow to a reality where you really don't have to battle so much. You don't have to feel like you're on the defense, or there's some kind of a an encounter that is aggressive encounter taking place, just because you think that this is just how life is, and what it's all about is really that this is included. And but then you say, yeah, okay, I can accept that, but sometimes it just feels like it needs to be included all the time. But because you, that I know that you're out there, have what it takes to a, I don't know if I should say a potential reorganization of giving it a second look, an extra look, and reassuring um, uh, loyalty, um, being fair to life, not defying life that when we are ready, and that when we're not ready, and that when we're happy, and that when we're not happy. I'm just gonna keep informing. So the beauty of it is that when you get to a point where you conquer a certain space that is defined, whether you defined it or whether it just was arrived already defined, and you know in your heart of hearts, you know that you can, and therefore you know. You so can that you know that you can. You so can that you know that you can. You are so can that you know that you can. So it's I had a conversation with a friend not too long ago, and it was really about the um, how about more is more, not more is less. More is more. More is more. So you have a teenager that's talented and with a clear, clean concept of what it really means if he or she were to decide to draw the lines here and fill it in with some colors, and with thought, without thought, with regard, without regard. I was just kind of keeping busy with hands and motions, and the hands will find the brushes will find the paint with the brushes will find the surface of the canvas, and then all this back and forth with kind of uh, uh, nerve ends that glow in the dark, and they are just like so obvious and so evident, and yet so elusive and slippery, and it's just like so wonderful because you realize that while all this is going, there's some growth that is consistent, and that growth is a no-brainer. Why should we not be aware? Why shouldn't have been aware earlier, much earlier, about that? This discovery actually is extremely important when you think, especially when you think about. So you think about your 12-year-old, 13, 14-year-old, 15, 16-year-old, you're realizing that it's never too early. It's never too soon. to um, revealing how you feel about it with those who are close to you and those that you care about and love. That's that's an amazing ingredient and aspect of the process that leads you from point of embarkment and into the some kind of a some resolution. And you always trust the process itself because the process guarantees you and it guarantees you and it proved that in the past that it sound the warning when he needed to sound the warning. So it's good to know that if the ship is somewhat going down, you'll get the warning. Maybe it will allow you a few minutes to come up with the connection to another grid, and then this composition is of course inevitable in its journey to fruition and conclusion. And this is the extension of who we are towards the group, and who the group is towards the larger group, and who the larger group towards the immense secondary entity, and it goes to the single digits again, all over again. But the meaningfulness is not ignoring its strength, improving on the account of an accumulation of certain kind of knowledge, some kind of information, and realizing early on that actually most of this material is material that sounds just a little too familiar, just a little too familiar. But you don't want to I don't know, you just don't want to be hassled by it. Certain things that you say, okay, you know what? It's like you argue with someone and he says, we're not having this conversation. So sometimes it's very appealing to come across and say, we're not having this conversation. But the, I don't know, I think the severity or maybe the misjudgment or maybe the, no, yeah. So going back to halfway through and then stepping halfway back and then starting with eliminating the decibel point, and then opening up into something that's a little wider, so you kind of roam around it and within it, and you really don't feel the barriers that much so often or so noticeable. And it's all connected directly to the time where you will face a canvas, because canvas is your choice of creation or drum set, and you play and you understand the moment from its levels of awkwardness, and cruising through and therefore building up a, a unique stamina, and knowing deep inside you that this is good for the world. Just imagine that there will be 1 out of 10 maybe that can think this way, that the power, this more and this more is more is so amazing, because some, and suddenly there's a really direct relationship between quantity and quality. It's like I always go to, when I go to art exhibitions, I don't know how many, but I always felt, even with those that I love without any question, love their work. So where's the rest? It's like it feels like there was an opportunity that was missed I mean, another artist has what it takes. Obviously, he or she show it. But then, you coming up with the point. Okay, so far it's fascinating. So far it's fascinating. But where is it? Where where do we go from here? No instructions, no directions, no material to work with. Just kind of anticipation, and maybe season related. It's not the right season. You gotta kind of wash through the season to get to this season, the now season into the right season. So and then properly um, implement the grid. I call it the grid because the grid is the free attitude. Is the enhancement of I don't know the ability to appeal. And I remember one of the shows that I did. I had this long wall. It was long. It was long. It was like maybe it was long. It was maybe 200 feet, and it was like maybe 10, 11, 12 feet. But it was just like you could. I put work there that was maybe like 10 pieces with four, five, six of them were large. You're talking about 80 inches by, I don't know, 165 inches, something like that. The 16 footers, the 18 footers. Um, and I remember that after I hung it, it was, it, I think it was nine pieces, 10 pieces. But it just looked so much more than 10. And I was trying to, before the show opened, it was like an industrial, new age, conservative modernism, something like that. And I took the last walk, went to where the people would come in from, and I started walking, and I just realized, uh, wow, what is this? Uh, what's the word? What is this hugeness? And then immediately, as people who really never painted or never painted, they start getting into a process that's very natural to building up the relationship with an idea. If you were the one who had to do what you are experimenting and experiencing by way of someone else's accomplished paintings, you realize how disoriented one must be looking at something and admiring it and adoring it, and still nevertheless strongly feeling that no matter what, they cannot do it, even if their life depended on it. So it's an amazing uh, feeling. But then phase two comes and tells you that now you have to anyway give it an adding another layer of like an acceleration. Let's kick them in the foot this time, so they'll stop and turn around, and then we'll start phase two. And sometimes you're fortunate enough not to have to go through the entire process because you found your own ways to deliver yourself to a place where in the meantime you can work on projects that began in those ages of 12, 13, 14, 14, 15, 16. Um, so I remember my encounter with a critic that also I acknowledged his power. And I looked at him because I needed desperately to borrow something from him, from his talent, from his blessings, from his um, aura, from his knowledge, from his experience, from his knowledge, from his wisdom, from so many things. So and I'm sitting there, and and it, in the outskirts of Jerusalem, and you bring modernistic art, impressionistic, abstract expressionism, and post primitive with a dash of new age colors, which is neon, metallic, just so much wealth of. It's like, and then also with materials. Now you can really get anything you want, and there's so much. Uh, it's really as if you were to win, $1 billion suddenly, and you really and you realize that it's real, and then you understand that you're frozen. But the same feeling with being in front of the canvas is knowing that you actually can create something that is really pretty good in itself. It's a part of a scheme, and it's on its way to um, um, detach itself from the structure upon it which it's feeding and feeding, um, and know that there is a so 2013, 14, 14, 15, 16, and you you so that encounter was there, meaning there was so much work there. There was so much work there. You take a place that never ever had any encounter with artistic uh, activity. Nothing artistic has ever entered that space. That suddenly you find yourself with your art so busy and so abundantly erect compositions and curations and and really without thinking that you were a revolutionary individual that we cannot do without or something like that. Yeah, at the end of the day, you come to the gallery, and this person that I was advised strongly not to invite to my exhibition. This was 2009 or something like that. And I said, what is it that? So I invited him, and he came, and I saw through his reaction things that I already knew what they were all about because I had to go through that. I self-imposed myself that process of. So what I saw was like something I already went through, so I understand that how one relates to certain situations, when they can and when they cannot, when they will be inspired or not. Will they do it or will they not? And 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 then this like, wait a second, there's so much work here. Oh my God, there's so much work here. Unbelievable. There's so much work here. There's so many paintings here. There's so many styles here. There's so many moments of all the variety, of all the levels, of all the subject matters and subtitles. Uh, uh, just um, immensely vital and influencing and not non-compromising, with lots of flexibility. That's because patience there rules sometimes. Rules. And we want to. So let's see what it says. Hey, Michael, how are you?
I'm okay.
Uh,
How
I'm
are you?
good, good. I'm actually doing the show now, so you're on the mic.
Oh,
Yeah, well, are you bringing the paintings or what? What's going on?
no, it'll have to be tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay?
Do you have two of them and they're both dry?
Yeah.
What
But,
time? What time should I cruise by to take it?
yeah, it'd be better in the afternoon. I don't know what time would be good for you.
Yeah, I guess
Am
afternoon
I
is.
live?
Yes, you're live. So what? People hear you. This is Michael McDowell on the phone, and he's one of the artists that is going to participate in this show. And the opening is the day after tomorrow. You know that.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe I could bring them Friday morning, and they'll be all dry and pretty.
Okay. Do you have titles? Can you text me titles and?
Yeah, it's actually I'm putting that one. I don't know if you got that message. I'm putting the one of the carnival with the dog
Okay.
and people wearing masks. That big one. And
Yes.
then I'm taking this one. I can't show you. I don't know how to do that stuff. But and it's the smaller one of the dog.
Listen. Why don't I come to your house tomorrow at like after 10 and just come and grab these two paintings and bring them to LTV?
Well, okay. I mean, you can come by anyway. It's on your way, right?
Well, actually, I'm here at LTV now, so I can come see you in half an hour when I'm done and have it ready.
It's not going to be ready.
Okay, so
So
we'll do it tomorrow.
I have this super dryer on it.
Okay.
Anyway, so
Listen, I'm looking forward, and it's your timing is great because I'm doing the show, and it will be really cool. How about I'll give you a call tomorrow, late morning hours.
okay,
And
great.
but thanks for calling.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you,
By the way, if you have the titles or any information, just text it to me.
okay,
Looking
all
forward.
right,
I'll talk to you tomorrow.
okay. Thanks, hon.
Okay, bye bye. Oh, okay. So that was a Michael McDowell, one of the artists that is going to participate here with the the August show, and the opening is Saturday, this coming Saturday, um, August 12th, 4 to 7 p.m. And there is a okay. The so participating artist is Dennis Lawrence, Chris Leclerc, Eric Ernst, Aurelio Torres, um, John Pomanovsky, and Michael McDowell, and who else? And myself. So I thought that would be good. That's actually a very good looking show. You can come here to LTV Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. The building is open. You can always see it. But this coming Saturday, August 12th, 4 to 7, there's the opening. So you're definitely invited. And, and, and that goes without saying. So, um, you know what? I'm going to have to, yeah. I thought that this would be actually a great. Actually, it's here. Okay, good. Mm, uh, nice. Let's see if we can make it happen. This is okay. Live action here, and it's here and here, and it's here and here. Woo! Ay, ay, ay. Amazing. Oh yeah. Okay, so this is it. That's good. My God, the things can be done so fast. It's not even funny. Okay, so this is what's going to happen. Wow. And um, of course, revere. And this one, yes, definitely. Yeah. Okay. So it's something to the effect of intertwining, and a blind spot flows from within. It shows. It chose to be a repeater of life. It surpassed the requirements of decency while I stare and calmly divide the tension so casually handed to me. Solely rhyming, flesh expansion, bright eyed branch spirals as drum rolls speak the language of night dreamers. Here it resembles a soft baby, fast growing into expansions, blending with vigor, breathing between the lights of mystery in the pathways created with each calculated gesture of growth, dreaming like a quiet hero, like the sing along of faces staring squarely at a momentary flashback, dreaming like a firstborn, squeezing with a first might, with innocence of brave forests, with much deserved admiration, with letters of bright delights circling the vicinity of hidden masters foraging. Green pasture, the place to plead, a grown up plead, sleep deprived, an eye blinking. This moment, it leaps over. The crunch of the wind restores a recovery. You hint in your own way, a form of speech and rhyme slows down with grace. The hesitation of Mother Nature whispers the truth in our ears. It is, after all, a river of love. I thought it was pretty touchy. um, eh, yes, okay. So I'm gonna get rid of this and this and this. It's gonna be here. That's good. And the coffee is here. So exactly where I left off was that actually a um, I always was kind of waiting to be reminded by others. You know, if you're lucky enough for people to approach you and talk to you about it, especially about your art or about art, and give their opinion or suggestions, and do you know how lucky you should be that people will actually um, be willing to negotiate a way to find themselves close enough to you to discuss things. I think it's an awesome feeling. So, but it goes hand in hand with the fact that that moment that struck and that critic was there, and he was known, and he was effective, and he was like a sharp razor, but he was harmless. But I realized that my art in place speaks quality mainly through its volume, just like that. And it just so happens that the right person, so to speak, supposedly noticed it, like saying, okay, I'm in trouble because here I cannot give my opinion as I usually do, and I cannot try to be too smart or outsmart. I just gotta take it all in. And then so he comes to you with his arms open into the thin air and say, how? How? And I look at him and keep on saying, how? Where from? What is happening here? And of course, I cherish that moment, because the second encounter I had with this critic wasn't so pleasing. Because the same person that just said, I'm sorry, I cannot give my opinion or criticize your art because I haven't gotten to it yet. There's something bigger is happening here. So he's telling you the story that you almost find it hard to believe that this is the story that you tell, told by others. Like, what a fantasy, man. But then again, if you were to be like me, more or less, in the world of creating something out of nothing, somehow, and recording it in any which way you choose to, is requires action on more than one level. Action on more than one level. The I guess I always associated proximity with immediacy, uh, and that's like because you want to have. I want to sort of have an idea, even a rough idea of not what is it that I'm going to create, or what is it that how am I, what is the what's going to materialize in there. Uh, no, I would think about um, how much I can expose myself in the process, in the moment of truth. Because exposure, you know, bringing out all the vulnerabilities and be that as it may, and you're like just um, no realizing that no matter how you approach it, how you deal with it, it's always going to come with a certain attitude that makes you feel like, especially in the early stages, there's no way you can let your guard off or guard down. It's just not happening. So just imagine the level of anxiety if one needs to be on the alert so much like this all the time. Then so you have a mechanism in place that draws from your investments, from your savings to uh, sustain itself and be uh, the viewer of justice, the 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 survivor of impeccabilism, that which is impeccable. And then as you in in motion forwards, facing backwards, you realize that you're just like going back and forth, and then of course it resembles uh, the false sensation of flotation, but uh, realizing that you sit with people that you can talk about the things that you know that they can understand, and vice versa, and then there's like a street smarts, even you never find yourself out in the streets. But for some reason, your street smarts become better and better, and 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 you still don't visit the streets. But there's something about how you find yourself dictating to the surface that is facing you, that you're gonna form that friendship and maybe create a relationship of some sort, and uh, if create a form agility, and a, a some spiral motions that can go ongoingly, ongoingly rotating, to serve the concept of what is vortex in the shape of a of a color that came from a visit with the blue, and on its way uh, to the visit with some kind of a bright gray, almost like light blue, light, light blue. No, no, no blue, but something in that sense. And then you realize that um, it's a small army sitting battle ready. You have all these extensions of brushes that are just like exactly for every and each need, and supply of paint is just like a feast to the eyes and to the nose, and there's just materials, and your level of confidence relying on your knowledge of intimate knowledge with every ingredient, and 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 it just goes on and on and on throughout all that which is meticulous and miniaturic and then microscopic and then whatever, but it's there. And so you witness yourself progressing all the time. And something interesting comes to mind. You're making progress and you're creating paintings. You're creating paintings, quite a bit of them, and you're making progress, quite meaningful. And then you're making payments and you're making paintings and you're making quite a bit of them. And um, and it's just there to stay. It's there to pick up the initial meaning and then secure a seat for the long ride to come with a level of decency and credit and credentials that will enhance your chances of survival. And the message, a message, the message, and the awareness of 20, 30, 14, 14, 15, 16, 12, 13, 14, 12, 13, 14, 14, 15, 16. Uh, Sit here and look at this. Sit here, take this, please, and dip here, dip there. All these jars, yes. Yeah, I'm gonna hold this, sir. I'm gonna hold the canvas for you. I'm just gonna hold it. Maintaining just the right amount of ability to communicate with the outside world will be sufficient enough to create a, a, a sizable will to, yeah, act it out and evaluate as you experiment and experiment as you evaluate. Yeah, why not? But progress is being made and paintings are being erected. and you try to find a way to thank, and the ritual is self-contained, and it's um, pretty thorough and inclusive and bipartisan. And but time goes by, you making progress. Paintings has been erected. A second view brings to mind a different kind of uh, energy patterns that have been introduced, and the great need to make sure that you have someone that can walk you through. Someone that can walk you through. Yeah. Sometimes it happens fast and the progress is pretty sizable, and you like trying to communicate it with other people. They don't stand a chance. You have to decipher it for them. You have to give them the version that you chewed a bit for them. And, a, a replica of a mechanism that just in a very polite way tells you, listen, uh, you're in for the long run, because there's nothing short of that will give you any place of honor here, or any chance to blend or to really experience as you should what it is that you can, that maybe and most probably you won't. So you want to know that progress or no progress, which of course it's a nice thing. You know what? It's all about really paintings have been painted, is being painted, are being painted, and they demand something. But whatever it is, they demand it very decisively and very convincingly, and they're getting things here and there, and it adds meaning on that level of I don't know, a rebirth, but not the cliche rebirth. Reinventing yourself. Yeah. Well, actually, I can relate to that. I can, I can, I can relate to that. So, but if I was to talk to you about the 12, 13, 14, 14, 15, 16, and the kind of power that they like, I, 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 I think that, for example, if you potentially going to be bullied in school or wherever, your chances to survive smoothly and with respect will be if you were to be the artist that happens to paint and draw and does whatever he does. But he always shows exhibitions, small, medium, large, frequent, all this. Uh, you earn a place of recognition where it's just simply allowing you to be uh, uh, to be who you are for longer. Um, Reduce the amount of the damage of intimidation, being intimidated. Oh my God. Um, and maybe enhancing the idea of how it really feels when you create, and when you know that this is just not ending here, it hasn't started here, it won't end here, and then you kind of uh, starting to feel the reflection of that self-worth, uh, self-evident self-worth, self-evident worth. You know, so there's so much when it comes to that. There's so much when it comes to that, and and you dream also in addition to it, and that dream is not of a person that uh, uh, it is of a person that really um, has nothing less than offering himself or herself completely to the process. And this is the kind of people to make a difference. And fame and success is measured pretty much evenly in the same throughout. And the, the magnitude of the event should not find us too intimidated. But that knowledge that we carry and the bonding with your kids that are in the early and late teenagehood experiences can manifest through their pure ability to naturally simplify their path so they can travel kind of frictionless. How sweet is this? How sweet is it that to to be able to reside there, reside there, reside there. And anyway, Wednesday, August 9th, 2023, here with the Hello Show. And my name is Haim Mizrahi. We're having the wonderful group art show as I do every month. And this month we have Dennis Lawrence, Chris Lecur, Aurelio Torres, John Pomanovsky, Eric Ernst, Steve Ram, and myself, Haim Mizrahi. It's going to be up on view until August 29th, and the opening reception is this coming Saturday, August 12th, 4 to 7, and we urge you to come and to attend. It'll be fun. Wanted to end with a just, boy, yes, just a loop. Is that uh-huh. Yeah. Oh yes, here we go. That's the one with my broken glasses. Here we go. Oh, okay. So yeah, oh boy. Yeah, well, that's like okay. So I stopped there and I said, done, done, an elated matter. In the midst of shedding a tear, I frown and wrinkle geometrically, favored by the hollow fit. It has a most likely ode to an original matter and factual wariness, instant motion, high teens during the last spell of the darks and the dark way home, matterful in setting catered to your needs, joining favors with kind tryouts, listing a directional above needs no one knows to this day, to this occasion, to this instance. What was, what was it all about? How nice. So this is a huge contribution. So we're gonna be here tomorrow as much as we were here yesterday and as much as we're here this morning, afternoon. Wednesday, August 9th, year 2023, here with the Hello Show, and my name is Haim Mizrahi. Continuing with of course, the Hello Show and the tradition of public access in itself by way of adapting the concept and doing our best to do our best. God bless. I actually have Paul Freed here tomorrow. I love Paul. Great guy. And then, yes, God bless. And we'll see you sooner than later.